The neon lights of Sector 9 flickered like dying stars, casting fractured rainbows onto the filth-streaked pavement. Crowds surged past the corner stalls of the lower trade zone, heads down, eyes blank, unaware or uncaring of the fragile figure pressed against the back wall of a noodle cart. She had stopped counting the days. Her skin, once a radiant pearlescent lavender, was now bruised with grime and hunger. Her ribs were visible beneath the torn remnants of what had once been ceremonial robes. Her eyes, too large for her thinning face, darted from stall to stall, tracking each bite of food like a predator too weak to pounce. No one looked at her. No one ever did. She had tried begging at first, holding her trembling hands out to the humans and droids alike. But this was a free port, neutral territory, the trader said. No one heroed anyone anything. So she'd offered what little she had. First her bracelets, family heirlooms from the Zilly matriarch line, traded for a shriveled protein bar that made her sick for 2 days. Then the translator crystal from her throat, useless now anyway, her voice cracked and foreign, that got her half a ration of broth. And then everything else. Her dignity, her pride, her body if someone had wanted it. But no one wanted broken things. Until one did. It was raining when he first saw her, acid drizzle that hissed against metal surfaces and clung to skin like regret. Jace Morrow ducked under the awning of a half-closed food stall, shaking the moisture from his jacket. He had the look of a man used to being invisible, patchy beard, utility boots, a courier's badge that hadn't been scanned in weeks. His last job ended badly, his next hadn't come yet, and the only thing heavier than the pack on his back was the ache in his chest that hadn't gone away since the war. That's when he saw her. She was crouched in a gap between 2 vendor crates, barely visible, just a shimmer of movement, a shift of violet skin against the gray wall. Their eyes met. Hers widened with something close to panic. Then she looked away. Like she always did. Jace waited. Most people walked on by. That was the rule here. But he didn't. He walked over slowly, crouching down beside her like she was a scared animal. He didn't speak. Just unwrapped the foil from the steamed bun he hadn't even taken a bite from yet and held it out. Her hands twitched. She looked from the bun to him, suspicion and desperation warring in her eyes. Finally, she took it, snatching it like it might vanish. She bit in so fast she choked, coughed, then ate again with trembling hunger. He watched her. Not like a rescuer. Not like a predator. Just watched. That was the first day. He came back the next night with more food, 2 rations this time and a dry thermal blanket. He didn't ask questions. She didn't speak. But her eyes stayed on him longer each time. She never gave him her name. But he began calling her Luma, softly, like a secret. And over the next few weeks, the bruises began to fade. The trembling lessened. The violet sheen of her skin returned, little by little. She still flinched at loud sounds and turned her face away when strangers passed. But she always waited for him. One night, he found her spot empty. Panic rose faster than logic. He asked around stall owners, drunk couriers, even the surveillance drones. No one knew. No one cared. He found her 3 blocks away in an alley, crumpled beside a trash compactor. Someone had tried to drag her off. Her wrist was bruised, her lip cut. She didn't cry. But when Jace reached out, she recoiled. He froze, hand still midair. Then slowly, so slowly, she leaned toward him, collapsed into his arms. That night, he didn't take her back to the alley. He took her to his place. It wasn't much. A repurposed cargo crate with a cot, heating coils, and a rusted food printer that spat out watery stew. But it was safe. For the first time, Luma slept without flinching. She stayed quiet for days, curled in his old jacket, sipping broth and staring out the small viewport. But one morning, she touched his hand. Just for a second. And then she whispered, "Thank you." Her voice was rough, broken, the Zilly accent sharp around the edges. But it made his chest tighten in a way he hadn't felt in years. "You don't owe me anything," he said. "I know," she whispered. "That's why I trust you." She told him her story in pieces. She had been part of a diplomatic envoy, Zilly emissaries caught in the wrong airspace when the border skirmishes reignited. The humans hadn't known what to do with her. The others were sent home in prisoner exchanges, but her name wasn't on any official list. So she was dropped here.
Lost.
Forgotten.
Starving.
Jace listened, and for once, didn't feel like the war had stolen everything from him. Weeks passed. She grew stronger. Her smile, rare as sunrise, began to appear when he came home. She would hum sometimes when he cooked, sit close when the nights were cold, and once, just once, she reached out and traced the scar on his jaw, whispering the Zilly word for survivor. One morning, an alert flashed on his pad. A bounty notice. Her face. Apparently, someone had noticed she was missing. Not to rescue her, but to silence her. There were secrets she might have overheard. One some very rich people didn't want public. He looked at her sleeping form on the cot, knees tucked, breathing soft. He didn't wake her. He just packed. They left that night. 2 forged IDs, a smuggler's route through the maintenance tunnels, and a shuttle ticket to a terraforming colony on the fringe. She clutched his hand the whole way. "I'm not worth this," she whispered once. "You're worth everything," he replied. They didn't have much. Just each other. But they found a place with clean water and open sky. She tended to the alien plants. He fixed machines no one else could. People liked him, trusted her. And one night, under the glow of twin moons, she said his name like a prayer. "Jace." "Yeah. Would you be angry if I called you home?" He didn't answer. He just pulled her close. And never let go.